Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you.
Since
I am
1985, the UN General Assembly has mandated December 5th to be celebrated as the International Volunteer Day, or IVD. It is celebrated to promote volunteerism, encourage governments to support volunteer efforts, and recognize volunteer contributions to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals at local, national, and international levels. UNV India, along with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, UNDP, and other partner UN agencies, celebrated this day in the presence of Honorable Minister of State, Shri Kiren Rijiju, along with Secretary of Youth Affairs, Srimati Usha Sharma, and Joint Secretary, Youth Affairs, Shri Asit Singh, along with Shalina Mia, UNB Regional Manager for Asia Pacific, and Shoko Noda, UNDP Resident Representative in India. The theme of this year's celebrations was Together We Can through volunteering.
Tap your feet and clap your hands. Join the rhythm we can. We will overcome all hurdles. Together we are one.
मैं और तुम जो मिल जाए हम हर मुश्किल होगी आसान धीरे धीरे बदलेगा मौसम बदलेगा फिर अपना जहान
We are the ones who can make the world a better place to live. Clear blue skies and clean rivers. Standing up together is all it takes. Tap your feet and clap your hands. Join the rhythm we can. We will overcome all hurdles. Together we are one.
On behalf of the United Nations Volunteers Program, I would like to thank you all for joining us today for the International Volunteer Day 2020 celebrations in India under the theme Worldwide, Together We Can Through Volunteering. It is indeed a momentous day when we come together to thank the volunteers and celebrate their extraordinary efforts despite all the challenges at hand. The many challenges we face today, like the COVID-19 pandemic, to sustainable and inclusive growth, environmental sustainability with climate change, or economic and social inequality and exclusion, require focused global action and meaningful engagement and participation of young people and volunteers to address these challenges effectively. I'm proud to say that at UNV, with the guidance of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and along with its committed partners in the UNDP, UNICEF, UNHCR, and other UN agencies, we are creating opportunities for young women and men and empowering them through varied initiatives, such that volunteerism is truly a vehicle for ensuring sustainable development. Together we can widen thought and action. Together we can guide each other to vigor, growth and perfection. Together we can usher peace and development. Together we can through volunteering. Thank you very much.
It's my great pleasure to celebrate the 10th Inspiring Role Models with V Awards, a joint initiative by UNV in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. So my heartiest congratulations to those awardees who have been chosen this year. I really hope that you will continue with your great work and will also inspire many more young people like yourselves to be part of the collective actions and commitment that will benefit everyone. Young and committed volunteers like you have the potential to fast track our journeys towards the SDG. Nearly 2,000 UNVs work together with us worldwide as peace building officers, engineers, gender equality advocates, youth counselors, often working in challenging environment, helping the people who need us the most, including those affected by conflict. In a country such as India, our UNVs help us to address inequalities that can leave millions behind. As we move into the recovery phase, our communities will call upon the volunteers to support a strong social and economic recovery. to ensure universal access to basic services, even for the last mile and leaving no one behind.
It's a very a special occasion for each one of us to thank these volunteers. And I am certainly at a loss of words as I recall the time, energy, and intensity of work displayed by all the volunteers in the NYKS, NSS, United Nations volunteers, and all our other central government, state government, and UN partners. I, I would like to congratulate UNDP and UNV also for celebrating International Volunteer Day and holding third edition of Volunteers Award. It's very important for us in India as we hold one of the youngest population in the world. To put it in numbers, every fifth youth in world would be an Indian youth. And volunteerism is a very important journey for us in India. It is reflected in the fact that the government of India realized the importance of volunteerism long back, about 50 years back, when to celebrate the 100th centenary of father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji, the government set up a very ambitious program called National Service Scheme for the educated youth. And today it has grown to a volunteer force of about 4 million from approximately 32,000 educational institutions.
India, we all know, is a very young country with a large population of young women and men, and the contribution of the youth in any sphere can truly make a huge difference in India as well as at the global platform. The fact that the youth of today have such high ambitions, aspirations, commitment, and energy to take the country forward and contribute in making India a $5 trillion economy makes it our duty to see that the demographics are utilized efficiently to realize the full potential of this demographic dividend. The Ministry of Youth Affairs has been working towards creating the right enabling environment for young people by accelerating the potential of youth through several youth intervention programs of the Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan and NSS, and ongoing works for formulation of National Youth Policy 2020, addressing a gamut of youth development issues. Under the able leadership of our Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, you committed to paying heed to young people's opinions and ideas and supporting them in the best possible manner so that they can realize their full potential. Today is a special day for which we are all gathered here, and on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, I would here like to congratulate United Nations volunteers and UNDP for celebrating this year's International Volunteer Day 2020.
On this very special International Volunteer Day, I commend and celebrate the effort of our volunteers and the organizations that have relentlessly supported them for fostering well-being development, peace and inclusion across the country and beyond. This year's theme for the International Volunteer Day is Together We Can. And a platform like this, unique because it shines the light on the collaborative efforts and achievements made possible through volunteers, supported by government, authorities, United Nations agencies, private sector partners, NGOs and other community partners. The International Volunteer Day 2020 recognizes that, especially in the pandemic, volunteering has come forth in many forms, reaching vulnerable groups, combating misinformation, educating children, providing essential services, food and medicine to the old, and providing support to health workers. Volunteering is a form of social capital. It promotes social inclusion, assists marginalized social groups, encourages civil participation, fosters social action, and works tirelessly for community building and community renewal. To uphold this very spirit of youth volunteerism, I am very pleased to note that in collaboration with my ministry, UN Volunteers and instituted the Volunteer Award V Award in 2018 that recognizes some of the outstanding youth volunteers and their contributions each year. I'm happy that today in the third edition of V Awards, we are honoring 10 such outstanding young Indians who have relentlessly worked in the midst of these challenging times to bring hope and change in the lives of others, to build a better community, a better country through their selfless acts of volunteering, which a joint collaborative
The
effort
occasion was also
of
marked by the
Ministry
virtual
of
launch
Youth
of the
Affairs
Social
and
Objectives-led
Sports.
Volunteer Enterprise Development Challenge, SALT, a youth-led social entrepreneurship challenge under the aegis of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, UNV and UNDP. It's time for a short break, but coming up on the other side, the IVD 2020 Awards. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the United Nations International Volunteer Day 2020. It's now time to celebrate the bright young minds who prove that volunteering with willpower, innovation and enterprise can make a real impact on the society, especially in the present time of COVID-19 pandemic. The esteemed jury members had a tough time going through all the entries received from across the country to finally come up with the 10 winners.
I've always wanted to reach out in BU Fuse, but I did not know how. I'm glad I took the plunge and started 2 social initiatives that were close to my heart without worrying about the results. My first initiative focuses on addressing environmental issues, while the second one helps migrant workers affected by the pandemic. I am extremely grateful to the UN Volunteer Committee for this recognition, and I hope to bring more social impact in the years to come.
A democracy with young and educated voters can we strengthen our democracy to be the future as India is the world's largest democracy. My aim is to turn every institution in India into a voter-friendly campus so that every voter can register and go out to vote. I hope to inspire many people to register and to go out to vote in the near elections, and I hope to build a stronger democracy by registering and educating every new voter.
As an institution, we encourage volunteers from local communities who are immensely inclined towards resolving the education-related community issues. Executing this strategy at the district and the state level, I feel proud to share with you that we have reached out to over 6,000 students with the help of 1,800 community volunteers in 13 districts within a span of last 3 years. With the new education policy implementing a paradigm shift in the prevailing Indian education system, S4 School aims to evolve around a progressive policies in its projects and contribute to the sterling development towards the ultimate goal of quality education. I am honored that the jury members found my work worthy of this prestigious award. It has bolstered me to work and aim higher. I wish to draw more blessings from reverted Pandurang Shastri Athawaleji on this occasion, and I express my gratitude to all of you for this prestigious award.
My volunteering journey started with the organization that I founded called Womenite, where we try to create an equal society through education, love and empowerment. 1 in 3 girls experience some kind of abuse before they turn 18, and the ratio is 1:5 in case of boys. We people fail to understand that menstruation is a beautiful biological process through which we are born, and unfortunately in India it is still considered as a taboo. And thus, we work on issues like child sexual abuse, gender and menstrual hygiene. It's an honor to be a part of V Awardee 2020, and it will definitely boost our morale to scale up the impact. I would like to thank everyone who has been a part of this journey and invite all to continue with the small acts of kindness and to build the India that our forefathers envisioned.
My name is Nupur Agarwal, and I would really like to thank UNDP for choosing me the finalist of the V Awards for volunteering. And my inspiration to become a volunteer is actually the only bhavna of seva, And also, the purpose of my life is to empower people and communities. So, volunteering gives me a leverage to be able to live my purpose in every way possible. And the particular areas I feel are essential for volunteering is environment, nature, because because there is nature. All that we eat, all that we consume is all given to us by the nature, and we all consume it from nature and environment.
I leave you with a thought which goes by, and I quote, greatness is not what you have, it's what you give. And I urge you to give your time and effort to just one cause or one issue that you're most affected by or you're most passionate about.
मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि मेरे कार्यों को आप सभी ने समझा है और मुझे इस योग्य समझकर 2020 के अवार्ड के लिए चयन किया है। यह सम्मान मुझे और मेरे जैसे कार्य कर रहे सभी साथियों को समर्पित है, जिसके लिए आप सभी का धन्यवाद प्रकट करता हूँ।
The honor by United Nations and Ministry of Youth Affairs of We Award 2020 means a lot to me. It has further enlightened passion in me for the cause. If you're equally passionate towards bringing a change, please join us. No matter you're young or old or cancer fighter yourself, because together we all can win over cancer.
It's a great privilege for me to receive this award, and I sincerely thank UNV, UNDP and Ministry of Youth and Sports Affairs for honoring volunteers and their efforts. So my strongest pull factor for volunteering is to serve the poorest of the poor. I always say volunteering is my passion and community is my cup of tea. And so volunteering is not just a work you do to serve the community, it also means you to understand the real meaning of life and transforms you as a beautiful human. So happy Volunteers Day to all the volunteers out there serving the society and making a change in the lives of others.
ये अवार्ड मेरे लिए एक प्रेरणा है, सिर्फ मेरे लिए नहीं, मेरे जैसे उन सारे लड़कियों के लिए एक प्रेरणा है। और मैं एक अनन्या गर्ल फेडरेशन के प्रेसिडेंट होने के नाते इस अवार्ड को पूरे फेडरेशन को डेडिकेट करती हूँ और धन्यवाद देती हूँ अवार्ड मैनेजमेंट टीम को जो मुझे कुछ काबिल समझे। धन्यवाद देती हूँ अपने मम्मी पापा को जो मुझे घर में बांध कर नहीं उड़ने की आज़ादी दी। धन्यवाद देती हूँ मेरे सेव द चिल्ड्रेन और आशा उड़ीसा को मुझे यहाँ तक पहुँचाने के लिए। धन्यवाद देती हूँ मुझे सभी लोग जो सपोर्ट किए।
I also take this opportunity to thank our VForce volunteers who have been running this campaign for the last 3 weeks, and also all the United Nations volunteers in India and across the globe who have been relentlessly working throughout the COVID pandemic. I would like to thank National Youth Volunteers of NYKS, also NSS volunteers. We have been working with them during this period of crisis. I would especially mention 3 refugee volunteers of UNHCR who worked as a COVID warriors, and though they were in a very difficult situation living in a foreign land during this phase, they came out and supported their communities. Their name are Hanan Ali Muhammad Ahmad, Ramin Hamdard and Safika Ahmadi. So I salute to the passion, energy and the work of these volunteers. I would like to at the end again quote Elizabeth Andrews, and I quote, "Volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they just have the heart." I think the Blue Heart really resonates that, and on this auspicious occasion, I congratulate all the volunteers across the globe and particularly those who have been able to join us. Thank you very much.
After the felicitation of IVD Awards 2020, the evening came to an end with some beautiful performances depicting the theme of the event, Together We Can. UNV would like to thank all the volunteers for their effort and are looking forward to another brilliant year of youth volunteering in 2021.